I was asked the other day, hey, Sarge, why you never play any fast music on your podcast? It's simple. I'm petty. I know. Sarge, is motorcycling the only thing you talk about? Is motorcycling the only thing you care about? Nope. I care about the Jacksonville Jaguars, too.
Hey, man, good morning. It's your boy Sarge. It's Friday. We done made it, man. We done made it. I know y'all got motorcycle business to do. Oh, boy. But we got some business to take care of on the Iron Elite podcast. It's the post-interview I-10 to the end with Milkman and Extra, man. So y'all let everybody know that we're on. Share it with a friend, man, because we're getting ready to go. Let's go. Hey, good morning, everybody, man. Welcome to the Iron Elite Podcast Show with your boy Sarge, man. It's Friday. I'm feeling good. The sun is outside, man. That crazy storm is gone. My brother C-Note made it in last night safe and sound. Thank the Lord, man. I thought his trip was going to take like 12 years. But he's in, man, doing his thing, so he's probably rested up this morning. But, hey, man, this morning I got a great group on, and we're going to be talking about their ride, man. They did their thing. And oh, by the way, they had nice motorcycles too, man. They were riding. They had no problems. But we'll let them talk about it a little bit. Hey, but what's good, family? How y'all doing this morning?
Good morning.
Hey, man, they looking all shiny. They looking all shiny. Look, hey, I'm going to tell you something now. I see, I think it was yesterday, or either yesterday or the day before, I saw Extra at Harley Davidson getting her girl taken care of.
Yes, right.
Extra, what'd you call your bike? What's the name of your bike?
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn. But she's getting the lights on the controls and getting it all cleaned up and fancy. Hey, that's what's happening. So, fam, for those who don't know who you are, let's introduce ourselves this morning. Let's start out with Extra. Let's go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Government name, of course, Cyrenthia Anderson, but on the bike set, I go by Extra because I can be extra. I'm here in Jacksonville. I have been riding since 2016, so I guess I'm more of a late bloomer. But I'm in here and I'm doing the thing right now. So
hey, she don't live in Jacksonville. She live in. Hey, get it right. Hey, man, we finna get this thing hyped this morning, man. I got coffee and everything. Hey, so let me stop, man. Y'all some immature, man. We're gonna be serious this morning. Hey, who else we got?
We got Keith Robinson from Lithia Springs, Georgia. My friends call me Milkman. I've been riding since 1999. Sport bikes. Then I got into Harleys in, I think, 2015.
Hey, let me ask you something, Milkman. Do you ever feel like you miss sport bikes?
No, not at all.
Me neither.
Not at all.
Me neither, man. I ain't riding I might ride one around the parking lot and back, and that's it. Matter of fact, I ain't even gonna do that. I'll turn it on. That's it.
I haven't been on one in years.
Hey, man, I leave them sport bikes for the young whippersnappers. Cyrenthia, did you start off on a sport bike?
surprisingly, I started out on a K&M Spider.
Oh, really? Oh,
so my graduation, from there to now, it's totally different. But my first bike was the K&M. I was really committed. I wanted to ride twos because that was back then when it wasn't a lot of respect for the K&M. It was kind of new, coming out with the 3 wheels. So I was determined I was going to be on 2 wheels. So I kind of graduated and moved, up to, I got to the Harley days, and now I'm loving it.
Hey, but I'm gonna say this, man. Shout out to those Can-Ams, man. Those little things are getting it. Matter of fact, I think
Yes, they
so far we've sent either 5 or 6 Can-Ams across the country, man. And I don't
Okay.
hear about no problems with those Can-Ams.
Okay.
Matter of fact, the couple that just got back, uh, they just finished up was on Can-Am. Both the husband and the wife were both on Can-Ams. I know the young lady, forgive me, I can't remember her name, out of Detroit, Michigan. She took her Can-Am. Joy out of Kingdom Knights Motorcycle Ministry from Maryland. She took her Can-Am number. I've never heard of a Can-Am breaking down, so I'm just gonna say what I'm gonna say about those Can-Ams. Hey, but anyway, folks, this morning we've got you guys. When did you guys get back officially from the West Coast?
I was home Sunday. Sunday. I can't remember the date. I'm gonna tell you, the dates run together on these
Oh,
trips.
you ain't
So
lying. You ain't kidding. Yeah.
yeah, we left out on a Saturday. I was officially back Sunday afternoon.
Okay. When did you get back to the house, Keith?
I made it back to Lithia Springs at 10:30.
On
10:30 Sunday night.
on Sunday night. Good to go,
Yeah.
man. Great
Hmm.
ride. Obviously, I'm looking at you guys, so I know your ride was very successful. But let's do this, man. So we get together. I got one person in Georgia. I got one person in Florida. When you guys started kind of this whole get on about making this coast to coast, this social experiment ride, did you guys have time? How did y'all come together to make this ride? Would y'all just did y'all know each other previously before the ride or anything like that?
Keith, you want to tell a
Facebook.
story?
Oh, on
Yeah,
Facebook
inquiring
probably
minds
about
want to
2 years
know.
ago. She made a post that she was on enjoy her $4.79 gas because the price had went up. That I posted. I'm gonna go out and enjoy my $4.59 gas for a couple hours, and we just been friends since then.
Okay. Okay.
So it
So
started
she
out on Facebook.
Yep,
okay.
on Facebook.
It was a joke on Facebook.
Yep.
Hmm.
And next thing you know, we decided we wanted to ride around across the whole dang country together. Some
Last year,
6,000 and something plus miles off a joke on
last year,
Facebook.
last year we mentioned it as a joke, I think,
Right.
and this year it was a reality.
Man, that's crazy, the relationships that we make off motorcycling, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Bonds for life. So y'all get together, y'all figure this out. From the time that y'all registered to the time that you guys started the ride, how much time did you give yourself to prepare or prep for the ride?
I think it was like 30 days. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
It was very compressed
Mm-hmm.
timeline. It just kind of was one of those decisions. Once you put a date on it, it's like, okay, ready, set, go.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember correctly, we probably had a 30-day window to just get everything in order and get it together to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And both of you guys, from what I understand, both of you guys are experienced riders. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, I
you
run
are.
cross
Stop.
country. I
Stop.
have
Yeah,
to be
you are.
experienced at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah, stop. Yeah. So okay, so now we putting this thing together. Okay, hey, you want to make this ride? Yeah, I want to make this ride. So were there anything particular that you guys start talking back and forth or kind of working with it, saying, okay, what do you know? What do I know? What do we need to know together to make this ride together as a group? Was there anything in particular that you guys started talking about as far as your coordination and that type of stuff?
We talked about gas stops. I remember we talked about it a couple times,
Okay.
and
Okay.
hydration, and
Okay. Let's say this. Okay. Hey, we're taking off to go for a ride. We know we're going in the springtime. We know we're going to be probably dealing with all kind of different weather and scenarios, those type of things. Hey, do you have a power box? Do you have a tire inflator? Do you have these? Or maybe did y'all talk about any of that type of stuff? Or everybody just say, hey, I got mine, you got yours, we're ready to roll.
I think we did talk about gear.
Mm-hmm.
We had some conversations, some dialogue about just making sure, kind of a impromptu checklist.
Yeah.
You know, do you
Mm-hmm.
have your heated gear?
Right.
All components of your heated gear. Is your bike maintenance? What's your maintenance on your bike? What needs to
Mm-hmm.
be done? How do your tires look? Do you
Mm-hmm.
have a jump box? Do we
Yes,
have an air pump? Do we carry tools? Um, just
First aid.
first aid
definitely,
kit,
definitely.
just some of the needs
Mm-hmm.
that we can think of, and then
Mm-hmm.
also listening to some of the other riders who've gone through, the
Mm-hmm.
I-10. What are some of the things that we need to consider, and what do we need to have readily available? Also, the expense. We talked about,
Mm-hmm.
just estimating the expense, and then of course mapping out like what were our estimated stops, like where are we trying to get to first day, second day, and so on. So we had that dialogue back and forth for right before the trip.
I'm glad you said that because you read my mind because actually I was thinking about it. I said, man, I'm gonna do something a little bit different today. How did you guys budget for a trip? Did you? I mean, I know on the show there's been plenty of podcasts. People kind of say, okay, you're gonna probably need this amount of money, this amount of money. Did you guys, as a group, as a team, did y'all say, okay, hey, this is what I think, Milkman, this is what it's gonna cost, or hey, extra, this is what I think it's gonna cost for us to go across? Did y'all have that conversation?
I can't remember if we talked specific about monies, what the budget. I think we did mention, because somehow I think it was estimated, or we had heard that it's about, $2,000 per
Mm-hmm.
person for the trip. Somehow that number came up.
Yeah.
Um, so we looked at, what it was gonna kind of cost for gas, and it was a rough estimate because you don't know, gas prices are different as you're going through different states.
True.
And then splitting the hotel costs, and what that would look like, so to kind of minimize some of the expenses. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, and maybe Keith could speak to it. I don't know if we actually came up with hard numbers. It was kind of rough, rough
Like
estimates
like a
as we kind of
like
went
a
through it.
like an estimate because I looked at other podcasts where other people talked about how much they spent. Some people said 15, some people said 2,000, some people said 3,000. Uh,
And we'll get into it, and we'll sum that up at the end. But I'm just curious sometimes because we'll assume things, man. But let's keep it a buck. Everybody's not going to talk about finances. They're just not. They're not going to have that real conversation. They're going to say, "This is how we're going to do it." Hey, man, you got your money? Hey, you got your money? Yeah, we good. And then you find out when you get on the road, you're not quite good. You were okay, but you're not good. And
Mhm.
having those comfortable or uncomfortable conversations are going to save a lot of heartache on the road. Would you guys agree with that?
yeah.
I would certainly agree. I would certainly agree that, it's important to have a mutual understanding, and not
Yes.
just the generic of, okay, I got my part, you have your part. Because
Mm-hmm.
you're talking about traveling cross country, you're going to spend X hundreds of dollars in gas, X hundreds of dollars on food, and so on and so forth. So everybody has to be, you don't want to get into anybody's finances, but you also have to, as a partner, as a group, you have to have the assurances that the person that you're riding with, that they have their system, or they have their finances and everything in line.
For sure.
Right.
And I know
Mhm.
y'all, I'm looking at y'all's bikes, so y'all ain't have to look at each other's bike and look crazy. Cause I ain't gonna, I'm not gonna hold you now. Sometimes if I know what you riding on, hey Sarge, can I? Hey man, my mama said nobody could ride with me. Hey man, if I see your
Okay.
hey, player. Now if I see you rocking a CVO or limited, and I see you, your bike look like it's in good condition, I'm okay. That's probably close to a sure bet. That don't
Hmm.
save you from everything, but it passes the eye test at least. But if I see you out there rocking with something, man, that's spitting all over, bruh, hey, we can go to bike night together, but we ain't going
You're
much
like,
more than
I
that.
don't know. I don't know if this gonna be a good
Yeah,
partnership right
hey,
here.
hey, bro. Hey,
You sure you gonna make
yeah, my wife said I can't ride with nobody, man.
it?
That's what's up. So let's look at the body, the physical side. Was there a particular diet, sleep plan that we start trying to implement before we got on this road?
I can speak for me. I mean, and most people who follow me on Facebook, they know I'm really into fitness, my nutrition and health. So for me, I was kind of already into, my rhythm and, as far as what I'm eating, um, my fitness, because this is an endurance run. No, regardless of what anyone say, you have to have the endurance, to go cross country and come back. So for me, it was just a continuation of what, I currently do. So, and I don't know, I'll pass it off to Keyth to see, if he did something different, but me, I just kind of maintained what I had going on.
Hey, Keyth, she get on our nerves, man. She be in the gym every morning and
Yep.
doing our thing
Yep.
late. Hey, I be getting them like, man, she make me
5
tired just
o'clock in
looking
the
at her.
morning, 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes, sir. So Keyth, was there a particular plan how you started eating, hydrating, getting rest, those type of things? Did you implement that?
No, on the hydration part I did, but the rest, I'm used to being up. I've been up since midnight. My job, I'm a local truck driver, so we
Okay.
we work when the customer want us to.
Yeah, so you kind
So
of got
it could
that
be
drive and
24
stamina.
hours.
Yeah,
Yeah, 24 hours a day.
that's what's up.
Usually, like Cyrenthia will tell you, I start off hard, then cool down, and at the end of the day, I'm hard again.
Hey, that's what's up.
You
So
know,
so
ready to rock.
that's what's happening. So we start off. Y'all left that Saturday morning. Am I correct? Now
You
the
Yeah.
are
pack
correct.
and the pack was large. It was large starting off. So you guys get ready to get out the gate. What was the first day's? Now we gonna talk about what had happened, but let's talk about the plan. So getting out the first gate, what was the plan for the first day strategy? What did you guys want to accomplish, and what did you want to do?
I know I really wanted us to get to San Antonio on the first day. And I can't remember, I think it was like 14 hours. That was the goal, to get as many miles or get to Texas as we could the first day out of the gate. I would say, I think Keyth, you and I kind of talked about that one-on-one.
Yeah, one of my goals was between Texas, Houston to San Antonio to get a good jump, but
Mhm.
that didn't happen.
Okay, cool. Hey, but I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Extra. Let's keep it a buck now. You was not gonna make San Antonio 14 hours. I'm just. It's not gonna
Hey,
happen.
wishful think, hey. It could
Yeah.
be wishful
Hey,
thinking, but you got to
hey,
set the bar high. You got to have goals.
if
So,
if if you would have made San Antonio 14 hours, I would have had to bow down. I would have had to give you a salute because Houston ain't gonna let you do it. Beaumont ain't gonna let you
they
do it,
gonna
and
let
New
me
Orleans
do
ain't
it.
gonna let you do it. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
call it a dream, but that was
Hey,
the
hey, but a brother and sister can have some goals. Am I correct?
goal. Yep,
Right?
yep.
So we get out the gate. Everybody's happy. Everybody's doing well.
Hmm.
And let's talk about. We can talk about road construction. We can talk about weather conditions or even bike situations. Let's talk about those scenarios, you guys. Don't mind. Whoever wants to take it first is fine. Tell us what happened to you guys the first day.
Yep.
You want to go first, Keith?
Well, we came out the gate good. It was a little construction. Um we went across the forest when we first started out. That was fine. Then we had a first gas stop had a little some issues and turned into big issues. And then we end up at Tallahassee, Harley. I don't know how many hours we was off. We was able to bond. We was able to bond at the gas station and the Harley dealership. Had another issue. We was at Pensacola Harley. Was able to bond there for a while. And by that time, I don't know how many hours we was into it, but we was getting fatigued and everything. So we stopped in Mobile. So Mobile and rested for the night and jumped up Sunday morning.
Okay. Keith, I think you being way too clean, bro. Hey, hey, this the each one teach one. You being way too clean.
Just a little,
Okay,
we had a little
but
issue, not
yeah,
too many, just a little issue.
yeah,
A
that's what's
couple,
up.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Let me interpret what I just heard. We rode. We had some issues. We bonded. We rode some more, had some issues, and we bonded again, and we got tired and went to sleep. Hey, I ain't gonna make you say nothing you don't want to say, but I'm gonna say it, man, because this is social. This is the social experiment. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna give extra a shot at this thing, and then I'm gonna speak my piece. What you got,
I
extra?
would say we had so much momentum coming out of the gate because I think everybody was excited. We're trying to get on the road. We ready to get it. And we first bike issue happened at the gas stop, and it was just one of those unexpected things.
Yeah, I think it was a
Um,
rock or something that hit. They hit the oil cooler
All
on
cooler.
yeah,
one of the
Yeah.
bikes. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. We pulled in, and they said that their indicator light was on, and they started there, and review and taking a look, trying to see what was going on, and had to call a tow truck. And as you know, calling a tow sometimes when you're out rural, that's going to take some time. So
For sure.
we lost a couple of hours there. And I think once it was told to Tallahassee Harlan, that's when we realized, that the oil, whatever happened with the oil, it was a lot much more major because my bike and I think Queen Rip's bike, it was just covered in oil. We couldn't tell, it was still kind of, dawn. So we really didn't get a good review. But I remember we got to Tallahassee Harley, and I was like, what's all of this over my bike? And it was a lot of the
Just
oil that was
the residue
leaking
coming off the bike that was leaking.
coming
Oh
off the
yeah,
bike.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so that was, it was a good thing that we did stop. I think, it preempted something major happening
Mm-hmm.
by catching it, at that time. Because if we had went longer, it could have been a major issue. So,
Yeah.
it kind of had that setback, and that took a couple of hours to fix. And so after that, we're on the roads. Like, yeah, we still have momentum, we still have energy, and then we run into a couple of more issues. And we're hanging in there, we're hanging tough, we're being patient. And I just first, let me say this. I definitely want to thank Kings of the South Richmond for letting us come and ride with them, since we were leaving at the same time, same day. So definitely, big thank you to King Rip, Queen Rip. It was an experience, but I will tell you, it took us 16 hours to get out of Florida.
But I'm gonna say this. I mean, we laugh and giggle, and we can now because these things are open. But trust me, if you ride motorcycles long enough, like my man Skunk on the Ground says, man, if you're afraid to break down, you ain't on the ground.
Yeah.
These things happen, man. The most freaky things happen on the highway. And I talked to them like last night. It was Kings of South Richmond. I talked to the brothers last night, and it's just one of those things that happen that hit the oil cooler. Next thing you know, you got a hot mess going on. If you ride 1,000 times, that probably never ever happened. It was just that time. But my takeaway with some of this stuff as well is, especially when you guys were riding with them, you got to have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
You have to plan and prepare for the worst and pray for the best. So if you got a situation where a bike is down, okay, now what's our plan? Do I have a towing package?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have an ESP? Do I have an emergency credit card? If we're riding as a large pack, what is the rest of the pack going to do? Because we can only sit on the side of the highway for so long.
Right.
So we might, in this case, maybe send a group up forward to the next exit to be able to sit in the air conditioner at a Love truck stop or somewhere, so we're not exhausting everybody and we're not keeping everybody in harm's way on the side of the highway. What do you guys think about that? Does that make sense?
Definitely. And I will say the most important piece is to have some type of roadside assistance.
Yes.
I know personally for me, I have the AAA, I have the Hog membership that offers towing. I have
Yes.
the extended, warranty that has some towing, and then you got your regular insurance. But I think
Yes.
it's so important because it's the what if,
It's the what
and when
ifs.
that
Correct.
what if happens, you got to be able to have those provisions in place, to be able to, get the assistance that you need when we're out here on this road.
So true. So we get out the first day. The worst well, not the worst. We're gonna just say it was an inconvenience. So we get out, we get to Harley. We get one bike taken care of. So we, like you said, we regroup it now. We got our momentum back and again. And I remember Queen Rip. She said that she did have some issues with the clutch that you guys had to kind of deal with as well. So at this point, let's take it past. I think because that was in what, Alabama?
We had made it out, but we were
It was
still in Pensacola.
so still in Pensacola.
Hmm.
So at this point now, because of the delays for the incidents that happen on the road, there's a fatigue factor that gets involved now.
Yes.
Hmm.
So now at this point, you guys decided to shut it down and recock. Am I correct?
Yes.
Get your rest. Which I think was a very, very smart thing to do. Because my 7th grade English teacher used to tell me, "Rest in peace, Mr. Knapp," because I used to give him hell in class. He used to say, "Mr. Houston, there is no replacement for time. You cannot make up time. Once you wasted
No.
the time, you can't make it up. There's no replacement for it," because I used to try to make up time all the time.
Mhm.
So at that point, what time did you guys shut it down? It was in Pensacola, or is it just on the other side?
I think we
It
were
was right.
leaving Pensacola. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It was right before Mobile.
Okay, so that is Pensacola. Yeah, that is Pensacola.
Yeah, I
And,
think at that time it was like 6:30, 7 o'clock. Remember, we left at 4 a.m. So
mhm.
it's now
And
6 p.m.
plus you gain an hours. So yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, that was a long day. So
So
take me.
go
No,
ahead.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It was a long day, and I can tell you, for me, I started to kind of feel the fatigue only because I had so much, enthusiasm about getting on the road. I don't think the night before I got sleep because I was just so excited. So I don't know. I don't think I got any sleep, and then now I've been on, been out, probably 20 hours, and I just said, I know for myself, I started to think, you know what, I need a rest period. I need to kind of, I may have to, separate from the group, have a rest period just to, regroup, rethink, the plan moving forward, and just get a good night's sleep. I think that was the big thing on my mind. Let me get a good night's sleep, and then I can come back to this the next day.
Oh, for sure. Hey, for everybody that's listening out or watching out on Facebook right now, in about 2 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and kill the Facebook stream, and we're going to roll everybody over to YouTube. I'm going to put the YouTube channel on the ticker right now, so to give you guys a chance to find out where the YouTube channel is. And oh, by the way, once you get over to the YouTube channel, feel free to go ahead and shoot us a subscribe and hit a like so we can get the algorithm and all that stuff going, so YouTube will kind of see that we're on and what we're doing. So we're going to kill the Facebook stream in about 2 more minutes, and we're going to move everybody over to YouTube, if you don't mind. So now I'm with you. So we make this business decision because it is a business decision. If you're not up to it, you're just not up to it. You got to recock, and I could see, coming out the gate the first day where everybody's full of energy, and just like you were saying, the adrenaline from the first night. I could barely sleep the first night when I'm getting ready to make a long trip. I'm amped up or whatever. But one thing about it, baby, that body is eventually gonna come on back down. It's
It will
gonna come
let
on
you
back down.
know. It will
Yeah,
let you know when it wants to rest.
for sure, for sure. So the next morning, what time did y'all get up, and then what was the strategy for your second day leg?
I don't know, Keith, you want to
I
speak
Keith,
to
want
can you?
that?
Okay.
I want to say we was on the road by 6 o'clock. We was on the road by 6 o'clock. We were rolling pretty good. Went through Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, Louisiana. and into Texas.
Did you experience any issues going through Mobile that time of morning? Any issues in going through New Orleans? Anything with traffic? Anything with weather?
No, they got some rude drivers. They don't care nothing about motorcycles. They will cut you off at a heartbeat.
Okay.
The weather was good. I would say that was the ride from Mobile to San Antonio, smooth ride. I
Real nice.
I don't recall any issues. The weather was good. I can't remember if we plugged in. I know for the entire trip we did wear heated gear. Just having it on in case we needed it. But I don't think we used it on that second day because we had a really good ride to San Antonio.
Good. So no issues in Beaumont with traffic or constructions. No issues in Houston.
No,
Man, you guys are real lucky. When y'all went through Houston, what time of day it was? Do you remember?
I don't
Best
recall.
guess.
I think,
Just
and Keith, was that when we did give a little bit of an escort? I don't know if Keith, you want to speak to that.
oh,
okay.
my cousin had been following us. She stayed in Houston, and she was
Okay.
waiting on the side of the road,
Very cool.
and she gave us an escort through Houston, in between, and we got through Houston pretty fast.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Hey, Facebook, roll on over to YouTube. We're finna kill a stream right now. We're gonna kill the Facebook stream right now. Okay, great. We're in Houston, and y'all rolled through Houston all the way to San Antonio. Am I correct?
Yeah, no problems.
No problems at all. Okay, so now we're in we're in day 3 now. No, we're still in day 2.
Basically,
Well,
By the time,
Sunday.
okay, so we get to San Antonio. What did we pound all the way that day to what, dark, or you guys shut it down before dark?
it was dark. I think it was about 7 or 8
So 7 o'clock.
We shut it
Okay.
down.
Okay. Very cool. During this time, what was the weather looking like? Was it a little colder in San Antonio?
I didn't remember it being colder. I,
No,
I, I
Wow. Okay.
no, because I actually went out on the bike to get something to eat, and I didn't wear a jacket or anything.
Okay. Okay. Well, cool. Cool. So we shut it down. Day 2 now. We're feeling a little bit better. We got a little bit of momentum. Things are going good. So we wake up for day 3, leaving San Antonio. What happened there?
Started off good.
Huh?
Started off
started
good.
out perfect.
Okay.
hmm
Okay.
Beautiful skies,
Check.
beautiful scenery, and it just all went down. Mhm.
Speak on it. What happened? What happened on that?
The wind, the
Oh
wind in
yeah.
Fort
Yeah, I remember it.
Stockton didn't like my street glide, so it was pushing me all around the place. We got off the expressway one time, then we tried to get back on. The crew, the Kings. I think Rip said they was going into a rainstorm. They had just went through a dust storm, and my polar street glide was rough. It was
Yeah,
bad.
I remember. I remember y'all reached out to me, and I reached out to y'all a couple times, and I remember y'all just had to shut it down. The wind was just too bad for the street glide. Am I correct?
Yeah, we made it to 20 miles from Arizona. We made it to New Mexico. We were like 20 miles from Arizona.
Yeah. So it went all the way from Fort Stockton all the way to Arizona with the wind.
Once we got into Arizona, well, once we got into New Mexico, it was a lot better. But then the rain came.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I heard about the rain was pretty bad in New Mexico during the time when y'all were going through. Yeah, actually, pretty surprising because it's worse. Normally, when I go through, it's worse with the wind in New Mexico.
Okay.
It's
Really?
just brutal. Yeah, it's brutal typically. Now Fort Stockton on going through Western Texas is bad too. But I think you guys got it for a longer period of time than I'm familiar with going through and seeing that. So
we did. I will tell you that was something I've never experienced before with wind gusts, 30 plus miles per hour. And I know it was different for me, going through it. But it was, I mean, I would tell anyone that's, going through this trip, and I don't know how it changes with the seasons and, different times of year. But that was a new experience being up there and having to fight through the wind.
yeah, it's a different world, isn't it? It's a different world because you're coming in and out of the canyons as well, and then the speed limit is 80 miles an hour back there.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to block that wind coming down off that mountaintop, and it's pushing the bike. My first time doing it, I actually thought my fairing was crooked as I was riding because the bike was slanted as I'm riding. So I thought the upper fairing was actually crooked on the bike for some strange reason. So I truly understand where you're getting from. And then if you're doing it for a couple of hours and you're fighting, first of all, you're fighting the wind from the bike's momentum. Then you're fighting the wind from the crosswinds. And then you're trying to keep that stuff up. It can become mentally and physically challenging after a while.
Yeah. Your upper arms will get fatigued.
Yeah.
Like you're just holding weights up the whole time.
Right. But I ain't gonna lie, Keith. You got a CVO street glider, and she nice. But brother, you need to get you a road glider.
I'm getting
Hey, go get your second bike. Get your side chick.
Yeah.
Get your side chick.
Right.
I'd imagine Cyrenthia, yours probably was a little bit better on that limited than what Keith
It was. It was, and that was, to me, because I was trying to, of course, kind of moderate and figure out how to get us through. And Harley Quinn, she held her ground. we stood on business up there in that wind. And I was thinking, we went up to one of the gas stations and we stopped, and the wind was so strong. When the bikes were parked, you can see the bike shake. It was literally pushing at rest, on kickstands, and they were moving, and I've never seen that before. But yeah, my Harley Quinn, I said, look, we fighting this together. We gonna get through this. Get on the other side of this.
Yeah. Do you have bars on your limited?
Crash bars?
No. Do you have higher bars? You have like a 12. You got stock handlebars on your?
I have I think mine are I think they're 14. So 14s. I have some KSP 14.
So a little bit better to deal with. Now, Keith, you got stock bars on your street glide, am I correct?
No, I got 12.
You got 12.
I got KSP 12.
Okay. So good. So, and again, and we'll say this on that real quick. We'll just say, hey, look, these are things that you have to prepare yourself for when you're taking from we'll say Middle Texas, the center of Texas, on to really all the way to California. You have to be prepared to deal with wind. It's just part of the game. If you're riding a bike, because I have had some bikes that are smaller bikes, you have to take that into account. If the wind is too bad, you might have to sit down, regroup, kind of let it sit a little while, and then push on, because there are issues if you're not used to riding in heavy wind like that. Not to mention, even when tractor trailers and stuff pass you, they're a little disrespectful on the wind as well, because they're swinging and moving around. Those tandem trailers are moving around all over the place, and you just don't want no issues out there. I'll say this, and we'll move on to the rest of the story. I did see a situation where we had some of the brothers were coming from Cali, and a bike collided into the side of a car because of the wind. Yeah. The bike got stuck onto the car. He was able to pry himself off the car. He was rolling about 80, and lucky he was riding so fast, and the car was going so fast that I'd imagine if he'd been slower, it could have been really catastrophic. So they collided together because of the wind, and then he was able to push himself off the car and still maintain the bike. All of us know normally 9 times out of 10 how that would have ended.
You'd have gone down.
Bad going down. So those are things that you want to take into account when you're riding in the wind. Understand how your bike performs in the wind and understand your skill level when dealing with heavy wind on your motorcycle. So I'll leave that like that. Do you guys got anything to say before we move off that particular topic?
I would say, go ahead, Keith. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I had never really, I watched the weather for the rain and stuff like that, but I had never watched, check the weather for the wind. I'm checking the weather for wind. Boy,
Yeah.
show it about the gust of wind.
Yeah, right.
I'm keeping up with the wind now.
Yeah, that's what's up. So we go on, we make it all the way to, what was the next stop point? Where did we end up at? Did we end up in New Mexico?
New Mexico. I can't remember the town, but it wasn't that far from crossing into Arizona.
Was it Los Cruces? Was it Los Cruces?
No, Lorden's.
Lordsburg.
Yes, that was
almost at the state line. So Lordsburg. So you guys are you cooking with grease now because you in Lordsburg, so you can smell Santa Monica Pier from there. Am I correct?
correct. Far from home.
Yeah, you can smell it. Yeah. So we shut down in Lordsburg, and that's right there. For those who don't know, that's right there at the state line between New Mexico and Arizona. It's right before you hit the mountain chains up there. So we shut it down there. We get back up the next morning. So now we're on what, day 3? Or this day 4, our last day?
Oh, they ran together. I think this is day 3. Correct
Day
me,
3.
Keith. I think it is.
This was Monday. It was Monday.
So yeah, day 3.
Okay, so we're on day 3. So we get up, and I guess you guys have a conversation, and we going all the way in. Is that the goal? We going all the way into Santa Monica Pier? No?
No.
What do we do? What do we do, Keith? Speak to it.
We're gonna chill in Phoenix and finish it off Wednesday.
Okay. So y'all want to come in feeling good then, huh? Because Lordsburg to Phoenix ain't that bad. That's what, maybe 3 hours, maybe?
I thought it was a little long. For some reason, I thought it was a little longer, like maybe 6. I could be wrong.
No,
it was
6. No, it's not 6. I would say
it showed us 4.
Yeah,
4.
about 3
Okay.
or 4 hours. It's not bad at
Yeah.
all. So we any issues going in through what, the mountains of Arizona? What is that? The Texas? What is it called? Texas Canyon? That's pretty, by the way, going into Arizona. It's about 20 miles as you get on the other side of the state line, and it's Texas Canyon. They get all kind of lookouts and cool areas there to see things. Okay.
I would say what surprised me was seeing the signs about dust storms. I was like, what's a dust storm? What are we entering into? Because you have all of this.
It's serious too. Those dust storms, it's not like the sand that we see on the East Coast, the sand that we see kicking around here. It's a light, like powdery substance, the sand, when it goes. It doesn't really, other than visibility, it jacks with you with visibility. But when you come back, for those riders who go in there, there's going to be some cleaning for air filters. There's going to be some cleaning in depends on what kind of fog lights or signal lights you have. You can pop those caps off, and you'll see you got a bunch of fine sand and grit in there. So you might want to clean that as well, because sometimes it'll short the wires on those signal lights in the bike. Had to learn that the hard way.
And we did go through a dust storm, and I don't know what scale, but coming back home, we did experience that dust storm, and trust me, your visibility is 0 until you get through all of it.
Definitely. Anything else on up until Phoenix? Anything else that we need to know about?
It was a pretty nice ride.
Okay, cool. So we get into Phoenix, and there's a whole lot of stuff going on in Phoenix that week. They got the Final Four. We got Maricopa County Fair. We got Bike Week. We got the Soul Brothers getting ready to come in a few days. Did you guys have any issues with the Phoenix traffic that we need to talk about or deal with?
No, no.
It was some traffic. I remember one day we did go over to see, the bike week, and that traffic was thick. And I don't know if that was the common traffic. And then I had later found out that they just allowed in Arizona, you
Splitting
know,
lanes.
lane splitting, which,
Yeah.
on the East Coast, that's not something that we have. So that going over to the West Coast, that was my first experience with lane splitting. We didn't do it in Phoenix because, one of the things is, okay, how do you even start? I mean, you're on this big bagger,
Right.
you don't know what to expect. It's for traffic. It was just a lot of reservation about going into lane splitting.
Right.
So we just kind of went along with the traffic. I think until later on, when we finally, stepped out there and said, we're going to give this a try.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things. If you're gonna do it, do it. If you hesitating about it, don't do it. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Would you guys say? And I've said this over the last few days. If you have the luxury, and especially if you're used to riding on the East Coast a lot and not used to going to the West Coast and splitting lanes, maybe you're setting up a course where you can put a few cones out that you get used to working with just a small area to ride your bike through, or riding on a particular line to kind of practice in a parking lot or something, because I don't think lane splitting is something for people who are or entry-level riders. I don't think you should play with that.
Right.
Some cars understand the mission and they're going to open up and they're going to let you in. Some cars ain't giving you nothing. They're going to give you a tight something to deal with because they're nasty like that. And that could be
When we
your
did it,
life.
when we did it, most of the cars was pretty cool. They just slid over a little bit, let us go on through.
Well, it ain't the most you worried about. It's the few who don't.
The one,
The
yeah, the one
few.
or two.
And I did have that one experience where a car came over in the lane on me, just literally just came in, and I had a split second, to get out, for an escape. But you do have those riders, they're not looking, they're not paying it, and you got to keep your head on a swivel to know what's going on. So I think that was the only uncomfortable situation I had in traffic, is when that car came over on me.
Do you guys, both of you guys, do y'all have slip-ons on your
Slip
Yes.
on, yes,
slip-on
yes.
pipes? So both of you guys have got pretty loud pipes, right?
Yeah.
I also said that if you got a Harley or I don't care, Indian or whatever the case, and you got quiet pipes, if you got a gold wing type action, I mean, fine, it's quiet, and a gold wing is a good bike. I'm not gonna hold you, but it's two things that you never want a person to say: I didn't see you, and I didn't hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Loud pipes in splitting lanes is the best horn you have, because it alerts people. I'm loud. Harley Davidson. Man, please, you won't hear me, bro. At least it ain't gunfire. But loud pipes is going to give those cars, startle, so they know you're there, because they're not paying attention to what's going on. They just looking forward to playing with the Bluetooth or talking on the phone or whatever the hell they do. So something to think about when, again, on these bikes.
And it's interesting that you said that, because this is our first time going into lane splitting, and we watched a few sports bikes go through, and I was like, because you're questioning, I'm on this bagger, am I going to fit? Are they going to move? Because you got the smaller bikes going through. And I remember seeing, seeing a road glide, and I was like, if we see another bagger, Keith, tap in, just jump on over and follow that bike. But I remember just hearing his pipes, and it's like, and I don't know if that's the standard. You just start revving,
Oh yeah,
as you're going through, just so that the cars are aware and they know to kind of move over a little.
That's exactly what you do it for. That's
Okay.
exactly what you do it for. Sport bikes can do it too, because most of the time they have those voodoo pipes or Two Brothers or Muzzies and those type of things. But those stock can pipes, man, you better get them off your bike, because you come through like a ninja. And we know what happened. What happened when you swift, silent, and deadly. It can be deadly. So anyway, so we maneuvering through L.A. Let's talk about L.A. traffic. Was that any How did you guys feel about riding through that for the first time?
Oh my goodness. That was, I was like, are you serious? This was a lot of traffic. And it took us a long time. I think it was a lot easier getting to the pier, but once we were leaving the pier, it was a lot of congestion for a long time. And that's when we were kind
did
of
y'all leave
hesitant about getting into the lane splitting. Go ahead.
Did y'all leave during rush hour traffic?
No. I think it was what, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, for LA, that is rush. LA just, unless it's 3 in the morning in LA, it's just what it is. David Bell say them tab zombies, because I got the tabs, the zombie bafflers, and they allowed us to get up. You got to wear earplugs and them things. So, but
I got tabs also.
You got tabs also. What you got, Cyrenthia?
Yes.
I have Vance and Hines.
Vance and Hines, okay. Yeah, that's what I had on my 103. But it's just a different world. It's just consistent traffic in LA. It's consistent. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's just nothing.
It was exhausting. I remember, radio and the Keyth, like, okay, this is a lot of traffic. It was taking so long just to get out of the city, or just to get away from that area that we were in. Then you kind of get a little break, and then you go right back into heavy congestion to where you're at a standstill. I was like, this is crazy.
That's gonna test your motorcycle gangster. I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've driven there a bunch of times, but I had no rode a motorcycle in it.
Oh, you in a tractor trailer, man. You a boss.
Well, I did it in the car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, folks. Let's do this. We're gonna kick it into the final segment. Let's do this, because at this point we didn't hit Santa Monica Pier. We're victorious. How do we feel? Let's say, how do we feel knowing that we taking our motorcycle all the way to the coast for the first time and done some crazy stuff that we can only dream about? How did it feel? How did y'all feel when y'all got to that pier?
I know for me it was surreal.
Yeah. We did it.
It was surreal. It was like, did I really just get up one day and throw my leg across this motorcycle and just say, okay, I'm riding to California and just do it?
Yeah.
It was surreal. It was beautiful. It was like, wow, because when you talked about it like a year ago, kind of that dream of, we're going to do I-10, but I'm not ready. But then here you are. It's just that moment where you're like, oh man, I can't believe I did this.
It's wild. And don't you feel empowered?
Yes.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. Let me say, this whole experience, my takeaway from this whole experience is like, if I can do this, I can do anything, because it was, being my first time, traveling that far and, doing something on that scale. I just remember coming back just like, you know what, I could go do this, or I could go do that. You just feel empowered. Like, okay, what's next? What else can I check off my list that I've been holding on to? Because, I can do this. I can do whatever I have outlined. I can reach any goal that I set for myself.
Love it. Love it. Keyth, you feel the same way?
Yes.
Keyth, I see a trip to the Arctic Circle in your future.
Where?
I see a trip to the Arctic Circle in your future. But man, well, let me ask this. Did the interviews that you guys might have checked out on Facebook or YouTube, were they instrumental? Did they help in making your ride, giving you a little bit more confident in your ride?
Yes.
Awesome. That is even what you guys are doing today. There's somebody right now watching this YouTube and checking about what you're talking about, and they're taking notes.
Yeah.
And what you guys have spoke about today is going to make for a more confident ride for them when they make their ride. And I'm going to share a quick story, and I'm going to give it back over to you guys. I remember when the Kings of the South, when Jay Bland and his group came down, I remember, I think they were from South Carolina. I think they're from Greenville. Am I correct? Am I right? Wasn't that
I
Greenville?
think it's Birmingham. I think
It
Jay
was
is in Birmingham.
Birmingham.
I
Jay
think
Bland was in
so.
Birmingham. But
Yeah.
I remember his group came down, and I remember it was last year. And so Randy, we were all downtown, and you
Yeah.
came out to see them guys. I saw it in your eyes. Believe it or not, I knew you were coming soon. You just had that look. You can sometimes you can get a sense of feeling, and you like, I look over and I'm like, oh yeah, she's gonna be riding soon. It's coming soon. Because at that point you can only watch so many people go across and you go, I wonder if I got this.
That is so true. And I will tell you the catalyst for me was when we did the event in February and I attended the event and I get to meet all of the alumni, everyone who's completed, the challenge and just hearing their stories. And I'll never forget Triple C. And I got to thank Triple C. We were
Shout
sitting
out to
there
Triple C.
talking. He said, you know what? And I can't remember what the dialogue was, but he was like, I'm going to sponsor your ride. And I'm going, uh-oh, now I got to put a date on it.
Yeah, you got to put a date on it at that point.
I can't.
It's
I
official.
can't play with it. I can't just dip my toe in. I got to go full throttle.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I came home and I called Keith and I said, Keith, we got to put a date on it. And
Put a date on it.
we looked at the calendar and I said, this is the date that we're leaving. That gives us 30 days. Let's go get it. And we just went from there.
Great stuff. So let's do this. Final remarks, folks. And we'll let, who wants to go first? Let's give your final takeaway of this whole I-10 to the end social experiment, if you guys don't mind.
I'll say this has just been an extraordinary experience. I would encourage anyone, if you're considering it on the fence, go do it. It's life-changing. It's something that, is on a scale. It's kind of one of those, to me, it could be a once in a lifetime thing, but definitely if you're on the fence, go have the experience of what it's like. So that when you come back, you can talk about it. You can have your stories, you can have your memories. Trust me when I say it was memorable. It's something that, I'll never forget having that experience. And believe it or not, I'm looking forward to doing it again.
That's what's up. What you got for us, Keith? What you got?
It was a lot of memories in it. Met a lot of friends. It was educational. Learned stuff. Learned how to bond. And it's something that I would probably like to do again. Encourage people. Somebody want to know something, just ask me. Like I at the Jacksonville in February, I was asking questions, scared, and asking questions, and 2 months later, I did it.
Yeah.
Yay!
Oh man, that's a great thing, man. Let me do this for you guys, man, real quick, if you don't mind. Let me do this. Hey man, winners, and most importantly, you guys accomplished the mission. And the mission was not just to get to Santa Monica Pier. That was only half the mission. The mission was to get back home to your family and friends safely, man. So
Yeah.
shout out to you guys. It was a pleasure following your ride. It was a pleasure cheering you guys on, praying for safe passage, going through all that disrespectful stuff that you had to go through. It's a great thing, man. God bless you. I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. And any final words before we shut this thing down? Because it's been a great time on Friday.
Let me say this. Thank you, Sarge. Thank you, for organizing this, putting this together, just your support and just what you've done, with this challenge and what it does for motorcycling. I just want to tell you, I appreciate all the hard work that you've put in and what I'm seeing, with the group. And I just want to applaud you as well.
I'm humbled. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so humbled.
Yeah, I want to thank you for putting everything together, and I appreciate everything that you and your wife did for us. And if somebody thinking about doing it, do it.
That's what's up. Hey man, if Milkman say do it, you better god dang it do it, man. So
Do it.
they've been bit by the bug now, so they're gonna be all over America doing their thing, riding their motorcycle, man. Because on the Iron Elite podcast, man, that's all we doing is just keeping it motorcycling, man. So family, thank y'all so much. Enjoy y'all Friday. Get you some rest, man. You done been through all kind of crazy stuff. But love you guys, man. Appreciate you guys for coming on, man. We're gonna say
Love you
salute,
back, Sarge.
and we'll see you soon. Y'all take care, family.
See y'all
Right
later.
on.
All
Bye-bye.
right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
So, man, there you got it, man. Another successful I-10 to the end ride, man, doing their thing. Each one teach one, man. This is what this thing is about. This is what this platform is about. For us recognizing our motorcycle greatness. Now, I know some people say, Sarge, and everybody. Yeah, look, man, look. This podcast is for one type of people, those people that want to succeed in motorcycling, to be the best motorcycle riders that they can, to experience things that they probably ordinarily wouldn't have experienced. Man, that's what we're doing here is unity and strength. We're building this alumni, and they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we have more room for more. If you are interested in making the I-10 into the end social experiment, each one teach one ride, man, reach out on the Iron Elite page, home of the Motorcycle Elite, or YouTube, Sarge Life and Motorcycling, man. The link is up there. If you can't find the link in the featured section of the page, the link will also be on the YouTube, or you can reach out to me or inbox me, and we'll shoot you that link, man, so you can go ahead and sign up and register for the ride. If you are interested in PIF, and you would like to sponsor somebody's ride, their registration, reach out to us, let us know. We'll get you that information to PIF a ride. Because what I have been finding lately is each one teach one has become each one share one. Riders are so inspired by other riders who are making this ride. They want to get in and support. Maybe some riders can't make the ride this year, but they want to sponsor and support somebody else who can make the ride. So that's what we've been doing with this thing, man, making this thing better and better. Also, we do this great event the first weekend of February each year. It's called the Iron Elite event here in Jacksonville, Florida, where we bring together some of the baddest motorcycle riders on the planet. No matter what your affiliation is, no matter what your club is, no matter what, we bring together motorcycle riders who are like-minded for this cool event that we do. We coined it the Ground Pounders Family Reunion, but also is paying tribute to Black History Month event. It's the first weekend in Jacksonville, Florida. If you're interested in attending, you want more information on it, go on to the Iron Elite Facebook page, and we'll have all the information that you need up in the featured section for that particular event. Host Hotel, man, that thing is loaded now. There's a few rooms left, so if you have not booked a room for the Iron Elite event here in Jacksonville, Florida, at Adamac Harley Davidson, man, I suggest you go do so. So at the last minute, you don't have an issue. But, man, it's going to be a great time, plenty fun. We're going to be celebrating the Titan. The Titan is an award. If you don't know about the Titan, I suggest that you get on the page and find out about the Titan. And, oh, by the way, for those who have not put in your nominees for the Titan Award, shame on you. Go do it, man. The link is out there. I don't want to hear it when your candidate or the person that you think should have became a Titan didn't get selected. They didn't get selected because you did not nominate them to be selected. If it's somebody that you think has what it takes to be a Titan, you need to go ahead and fill out the link, man. It only takes you about 15, 20 minutes to get it done. It's worth it if you think that person is worthy of that award, man. So something to look out at. Also, the 200th patch. The 200th patch ceremony is coming soon. We're looking at trying to get it in May or June, but we're trying to figure out standby for the dates for that. It's just going to be a small event over at Adamac Harley Davidson. We're going to come together and kind of celebrate the 200th patch ceremony. Right now, the wife tells me, I think right now we've surpassed the 200. I believe we're at 217 riders who have successfully gone across and completed the social experiment. So let's do this real quick for that. Awesome job for my riders and awesome job for everybody who supports the YouTube channel, the Facebook page, the Instagram. I appreciate you guys so much. But I would ask one thing before we shut down today. Man, share the YouTube. Let's get the YouTube channel up and cracking. Let's get it hot. If you like what you see or hear on the YouTube, Sarge Life and Motorcycling, please share it with a friend. Reach up and hit the subscribe button. I know a lot of people watch the channel, but they don't bother to subscribe. Subscribing does not cost you $1. All it is you go to the YouTube page, hit subscribe. It alerts YouTube to every time now when we have video or live content, it'll hit you with a notification and let you know that we're on live or we just posted something. Let's get the YouTube page strong, man. Let's keep it pushing, because if we don't, it's tough to keep doing what we're doing if we're not supporting it and letting YouTube know that people are out there and they're being they want this information. So I'll leave that like that, man. For everybody else, for Kodak and for Coco, safe travels on that road, man. They're getting it in. They're getting close to getting to California, but they're doing their thing. I believe they're in Western Texas now, getting it in. Thank you to everybody who supported the platform. Thank you to everybody who comes on diligently each and every day and support these podcasts. I do have Mogas from Soldiers United. He's coming on doing his post interview today at 5 p.m. So please tune in for that. We'll be live with him Saturday morning. We'll be knocking out Kings of the South, the Jacksonville chapter, Jacksonville, North Carolina. So we're going to keep it going, man. So in the meantime and in between time, man, y'all keep it motorcycling, you dig?
Hey, Sarge, why you want people to always keep riding their motorcycles long distance? You messing up their resale value. Putting too many miles on the bike.
Hey y'all, it's Snacks reminding you to tune in to the Iron Elite podcast. You dig?
This is the Mileage Bully, the Moto Mob CEO, and your 2024 Titan. You are now listening to Sarge on the Iron Elite podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. If you're not listening to the Iron Elite podcast, what are you really doing? Because we are talking motorcycles over here. You dig?
I know. Sarge, is motorcycling the only thing you talk about? Is motorcycling the only thing you care about? Nope. I care about the Jacksonville Jaguars too.